Hello, and thank you for joining Vacations by Rail for our online travel presentation, Discover the Canadian Rockies by Rail, featuring our very special guest, Rocky Mountaineer. My name is Lynn, and I will be the moderator for this presentation. Before we get started, I wanted to go over just a few things. First of all, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please submit your questions in the question box on your GoToWebinar toolbar, and we will field these before the session ends. There will be 2 polling questions throughout the presentation, and we encourage you to participate. And lastly, this session will be recorded and will be available after the session. So now, without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce your hosts, the 2 Dawns, Dawn Rogan from Vacations by Rail and Dawn Elmendorf from Rocky Mountaineer.
Thanks, Lynn. Today we're going to be talking about the Canadian Rockies. I am Dawn Rogan from Vacations by Rail. So just a few things to get you folks started here with us. Oop, and hold on.
Technical difficulty.
Sorry, folks. One moment. We're just having some issues here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So a few things about Vacations by Rail. We are the leading rail vacations company in the United States, offering the largest selection of independent rail trips, escorted rail tours, rail cruise combination, and luxury rail journeys. We are the trusted authority on rail. We're a member of the National Tour Association, the American Bus Association, and we have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. We were founded by travel industry professionals with a combined 50+ years experience in the specialty of booking rail vacations. Why Vacations by Rail? We deliver an unmatched vacations and first-class service to destinations around the globe. We offer best-in-class customer care with 24/7 before, during, and post-travel contact. We offer extensive choices of vacation options all around the world on some of the world's most iconic trains. And we're also able to customize personalized vacations for each traveler's need. Vacations by Rail is AARP's preferred rail provider, which means that all AARP members receive a 5% savings on all of our rail vacations. Why a rail vacation? So there's some really great things about rail travel. We offer distinctive packages designed for today's traveler, unique experiences and ways to see parts of the country that aren't accessible through other modes of transportation. The freedom of rail travel allows you to leave the navigation and driving to someone else. We offer a mix of iconic trains and historic rail routes with fantastic destinations and impressive sightseeing. Rail travel is a very experiential travel mode. It's an integral part of the vacation experience and not just a transportation component. Rail travel is inclusive. No need to stop for meals or overnight accommodations. Everything is available on board our long-distance trains. Our first polling question is from Lynn.
Great. Our question is, have you taken a rail vacation? So we encourage you to participate. We're going to keep this open for just another couple seconds. It looks like nearly everyone has voted. All right, so the poll is closed, and here are the results. Looks like everyone is in the right place.
Well, great. Thanks so much, Lynn.
Yeah, no problem.
And now we're going to hand it over to Dawn Elmendorf for our Rocky Mountaineer portion.
We thought we'd keep it easy for you by having the 2 Dawns. So welcome, everybody. I am Dawn Elmendorf with Rocky Mountaineer. And today we're going to talk about how you're going to be bound for incredible. You know, Dawn had talked about iconic trains. Rocky Mountaineer truly is the iconic train of the Canadian Rockies. So we do just one area of the world, and we do it the right way. We do Western Canada. So we're talking Seattle, Banff, over to the Calgary, Seattle, Vancouver, over to the Banff, Calgary, Lake Louise area. Seeing is believing is a huge understatement. So if you're out there and you're thinking, yeah, I've done this and I've driven that area and it's gorgeous, you have not seen it this way. 80% of our routes, 80% inaccessible by car. So when I show you pictures and you're seeing pictures today or Rocky Mountaineer and you're hugging the coastline or you're going along over crevasses, it really is what you're seeing. The experience on board Rocky Mountaineer is one of true luxury. You are going to be taken care of. It is all-inclusive, which means when you're on board, the meals, the snacks, the alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages are included. But it's also one of daylight. So we do not overnight on the train. We make sure you stay in clean, comfortable hotels, anywhere from 3-star hotels up to the 5-star Fairmont. The reason we do this is you are arguably going to one of the most beautiful areas of the world, and you want to see it. So you don't want to be sleeping through it, and you certainly don't want to be traveling through it at night. So you're generally off the train by dinner time. Welcome aboard Rocky Mountaineer. This is Rocky. We do name our train. I know it's a little corny, but we love Rocky, so we do. And this is our brand new state-of-the-art train station in Vancouver. Now, Vancouver is where our headquarters is. We're a family-owned company. This is where you not only board Rocky Mountaineer, but you really do become part of our family. And I truly mean that. Besides the piano player there playing the grand piano, besides Billy who plays the bagpipes as you walk the red carpet onto Rocky, you're going to be met by a lot of people. And what you normally wouldn't know is those people are volunteers from our headquarters. We ask for volunteers. We never have a lack of volunteers. They come out before their shift. And why do they do that? They do that because we are so proud of our product and we are so excited because we've been there. We know this journey that you're about to embark on and we wave you off. It's really fun. You never know who's going to be there. If the CEO or the president are in town, they're going to be out there as well. In this picture, we have the VP of sales, the group's manager, and this was a picture I took off my train journey last year. Once you're on board Rocky, you're going to have anywhere from 2 hosts to 4 hosts. These hosts are going to be your new best friends for the next 2 to 3 days while you're on board. They will not only serve you, they will tell you great stories of the area. They will tell you the iconic sights you're seeing when you're going past Pyramid Falls or Rainbow Canyon. They'll tell you some of the history of the area, but they're also great animal spotters. So they actually carry walkie-talkies in between them, or all of them carry walkie-talkies. So if anybody on any of the rail cars sees an animal, they'll be able to tell us. And they shout out, bear on the right, and then everybody runs to the right side of the train and takes a picture of that bear. And that's where it becomes a fun social interaction as well. So on board Rocky Mountaineer, you have a choice of 2 service levels, gold and silver. So gold, as you can see, is a 2-level rail car. And silver is a single-level rail car. Now, please remember, no matter which class of service you pick, it is all-inclusive aboard Rocky Mountaineer. And again, that means your meals, your snacks, meals, generally breakfast and lunch, because you're usually off the train by dinner time. Remember the daylight-only train travel. Snacks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages. So I'll start with Gold Leaf, our 2-level rail car. You sit up top, you take a spiral staircase down to that main level, and that's where you dine. And then, of course, we have that outdoor viewing area. I have some better pictures of it. So this is your view for the couple days that you are on board Rocky. Big panoramic 180-degree windows. The seats are extremely comfortable. They look a little close together here, but they're really, really not. I had a gentleman with me, a travel agent that was 6'7", last year, and he had no problem in either silver or gold. So keep that in mind. And the seats are heated. So big wide leather seats. You push a little button and your footrest comes out. Push another one and you kind of slide forward so you don't have to worry about people in front of you or in back of you. And then, like I said, they're heated as well. This is the dining area. So again, you take the spiral staircase down and you dine on the main level. So tables of 4, 2 across from each other, restaurant style. On Gold Leaf, you get a choice of 5 to 6 entrees for your breakfast and your lunch. By the way, Whether it's gold or silver, we can handle any dietary request except for kosher, so gluten-free, sodium-free. I'm sure there's going to be a new free in 2019. I don't know about yet, but we'll handle that too. So keep that in mind. And again, my favorite part, the outdoor viewing area. If I have any avid photographers on this call, they are definitely going to win a be out there, because you can stand out there, just breathe in that fresh mountain air. You know, the train only goes about 35 miles an hour max, so you don't have to worry about getting wind blown. It's just relaxing, beautiful pictures from there. Okay, that was gold leaf. Silver leaf, a great option as well. It's a single level rail car, big wide windows, slightly domed roofs, and you dine actually at your seat. So your tray table comes down, and we do the crystal linen china. What I kind of like about this is the chef comes through and plates your food right in front of you. By the way, you get a choice of 2 entrees at breakfast and lunch on Silverleaf. But I'm a super, super picky eater, so I like knowing what's going to be put on my plate before it's on there, so I can either veto that or ask for more or something else. So I kind of like that choice of Silverleaf, where the chef comes through and plates your food right there for you. Okay, no matter which class of service you pick, again, you're going to be overnighting in wonderful hotels, anything from 3-star up to the 5-star Fairmonts that are so well known in the Canadian Rockies. The beauty about Rocky Mountaineer and your Vacations by Rail specialist will be able to help you with this is you can mix and match. So what I did for my own vacation is hotel's a hotel for me. I'm going to spend my time out. So I didn't have to have the beautiful 5-star Fairmonts. I mean, they're great to go see, but I didn't need to stay in them. So I stayed in kind of a more lodgy hotels, more the 4-star hotels, and I upgraded to Gold Leaf on the train. So your rail specialist at Vacations by Rail will be able to help you with that. And that's what's great about using Vacations by Rail. They can tell you where to spend the money and where to save the money. It's wonderful. Okay, our routes. So if by chance you ever looked at a Rocky Mountaineer brochure, you see this crazy map. And it's like, what is that about? It's really easy. We have 4 routes. We have 2 routes that go to Jasper and 2 routes that go to Banff. So I'll just go over them with you. By the way, the train goes east to west, west to east. Doesn't matter which way you go. It's the same scenery. I'm going to talk Vancouver eastbound just for simplicity and continuity's sake. But you can start in either Seattle, Vancouver, or Calgary. Okay, just remember east to west, west to east. I'm going to talk eastbound. So first route, Rainforest to Gold Rush. This is, you can start or end in Jasper in the Blue Diamonds, and you overnight, get off the train and overnight in the White Diamonds. So welcome to Vancouver. If you have not been, or even if you have been, I highly recommend an extra night in Vancouver. It is an amazing city. Truly one of my top 3 cities in the world, and so much to do there. So much to do. If you're going to think about going to Victoria Island, you're going to want to at least spend 2 nights in Vancouver, because that's a full day excursion in itself. So anything from that skywalk, that's not as scary as it looks, I promise you on that. It's a great picture though. To the Zodiac tours, to biking, or just even, hanging at Granville Island and having a great lunch. So tons to do in Vancouver. So you'll get on the train and you'll go to Whistler. Whistler, of course, home of the 2010 Winter Olympics, an iconic little ski village in British Columbia. You get in around noon, so you actually have the rest of the day and the evening free to explore this iconic ski village. There's Alta Lake there that you can hike around or walk around, or just some great shopping and restaurants. You'll get on the train the next day and head to Quesnel. Now, Quesnel's this itty-bitty town, itty-bitty, I'm not kidding. It's so small that actually Rocky Mountaineer is the entertainment of the town. They come out and greet our guests, which they love. So this is where the gold rush happened in Canada. Now, if any of you are into differentiating topography, this is a route you're definitely going to want to take. It's the route with the greatest topography. You're going to hug the coastline as you come out of Vancouver, see the mountains of Whistler, and when you get to Quesnel, it's actually very desert-like. So think Grand Canyon on a slightly smaller scale, but you're going to go through a lot of desert and canyons. Get back on the train the next day and end your journey on Rocky Mountaineer in Jasper. Now, again, I'm just talking routes right now. I'm kind of breaking it down for us. I'll talk about what we do once we're in the Rockies, but just talking our routes. So end in Jasper. Jasper is still very pristine to me. It's a town of about 4,000 people, about 4 blocks long. It just seems really untouched and natural to me. Okay, so that's our 3-day route to Jasper. We also have a 2-day route to Jasper called Journey Through the Clouds. This is the one I took on my own personal vacation last year. So again, end in Jasper, and you overnight in Kamloops. So Kamloops is a town of about 100,000 people. People always ask me, why Kamloops and why Quesnel? Well, when you're on Rocky, you get it. Remember how I said 80% of the route is inaccessible by car? There's really nowhere else to stay. But there's lots to do. This is where the north and south branches of the Thompson River come together. This is really just an overnight stay, Kamloops and Quesnel. But that green area, there's a park with live music every night in the summer. So my sister and I went this summer. We were way too full because you are not going to go hungry on Rocky Mountaineer. Let me tell you, the food on Rocky Mountaineer is amazing. Truly, truly world-class cuisine. So you are not going hungry. So we were too full. We just grabbed some cheese and crackers and went to the park and listened to the live music every single night in the summer. And then again, you're going to end your journey on the train in Jasper. So those are our 2 routes to Jasper. Then we have 2 routes to Banff. First Passage to the west. This is a very historical route. So same route as Journey Through the Clouds, Vancouver to Kamloops. Instead of heading northeast the next day on day 2, you're going to head straight east to Lake Louise or Banff. So very historical, like I mentioned, home to the spiral tunnels. Back in the early 1900s, it was extremely dangerous to travel on this route. It was so steep. So they knew they had to do something. They brought in engineers who literally blasted through the mountains and created what they call spiral tunnels. They're really not spiral. They look like a big giant cursive L. But we are the only passenger train to run on this route and through the spiral tunnels, as well as the Rainforest to Gold Rush route. Another historical fact about this route is between Kamloops and Lake Louise is a town called Craigellachie. And Craigellachie is where the last spike was laid that connected 3,200 kilometers of rail. So they started on one end, started on the other. They met in Craigellachie, and they would get this 2 centimeters apart when they met after 3,200 kilometers of rail laying. I find that just amazing. It's also it's what caused Canada to actually become a country, because British Columbia really didn't want to be kind of part of Canada because there was no way to get there. So the rail line helped that. So you can get off in Lake Louise or Banff. Lake Louise, of course, home of the famous chateau. Banff, this is a shot right down Banff Avenue. And this pictures is exactly what I love about the Canadian Rockies. Doesn't it look like you could just walk straight into that mountain, straight into it? And that's what it's like all over the Rockies. You feel like you could just reach out and touch these mountains. Now, if Vancouver is my favorite city, Banff is my favorite town. And again, I recommend 2 nights in Banff. First time I did Rocky, I made the mistake of only doing 1 night. The train was a little delayed, and we went from Pacific time to Mountain time. So you're going to change time zones. So you're an hour ahead. So we got in around 8 o'clock at night. I had dinner. I had an 8 a.m. transfer to Calgary Airport the next day, so I didn't get to see Banff. So I made that mistake once. I will never make it again, so don't do this mistake I made. And then Coastal Passage, our last route. This one's super easy. Same route as First Passage. It just starts in Seattle. It is a Rocky train from Seattle to Vancouver. Beauty of this is you have the whole day to experience Seattle on your own, because we leave at 4 o'clock in the evening and you have a wonderful dinner on board Rocky. So the routes I've been talking about have been one way, pretty much starting in Vancouver, going over to the Rockies, and then you would fly out of Calgary. But one thing I really want to talk to you about is a circle journey. A circle journey is taking 2 routes. So you would take one route, say to Jasper, work your way down to Lake Louise, Banff, and then take another route back. That green dotted line, there is no rail that runs north and south between Jasper and Lake Louise. I'll talk about this in just a minute, but this is where you'll do excursions or do a self-drive with Rocky Mountaineer. Our number one bestseller last year was Golden Circle by a Whistler, and this depicted exactly that. So you're on the train for 3 days, going on that green line, and then you get off the train for about 6 nights. Jasper, Lake Louise, Banff, 2 nights in each city, town, and then back on the train. So you're not on the train, even though this is a 12-day trip, you're not on the train for 12 days. You're on the train for a couple days, off for a few days, and then back on the train. And one thing I hear over and over and over again at trade shows is people come up to me, and I love it when people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I was on Rocky. It was amazing, one of the best trips of my life, but I wish I would have had more time on the train. I wish I would have gone both ways. In other words, they wish they would have done a circle journey. So keep that in mind. It was our bestseller last year. Okay. Things to do. So I mentioned that green dotted line, that there's no rail. This is where you'll be doing the sightseeing in the Canadian Rockies. Now with Rocky Mountaineer, you can do it 2 ways. You can do it by motor coach, and this is probably what the majority of our travelers do. But I don't want you to think of this as a quote unquote escorted tour. Yes, you will have a driver and guide, but if anybody's ever been on a cruise line, think of it more like a shore excursion. So if you drove from Jasper down to Lake Louise, it would only be 3 hours. Now, you're not going to be able to do it in 3 hours because you're going to stop. You're going to see the Columbia ice fields and Athabasca Falls, and you're going to get out and take pictures and all kinds of things. So they're really half-day and full-day excursions. So think of them more as excursions. Or you can do it by what we call a self-drive, which is renting a car. Super easy. I did this with my sister last summer. I'm happy to say that after spending 5 days in a car together, we're still talking. So there was one day I wasn't so sure. But it's really easy too. You cannot get lost. It's impossible. There's one road. One. Can't get lost. So just look out for the moose. But we had a great time. You know, it's just a matter of what you like better. I've done it both ways. You learn more on the motor coach. You don't have to think about anything. But you can explore at your own pace when you do it on a self-drive. So great options there. And again, your rail specialist at Vacations by Rail will be able to help you through that and walk you through it and see what the best option for you is. So what are we going to do? Whether we're on the motor coach excursion or driving on our own, what are we going to do? Oh my gosh, so much to do. Jasper, I could spend 5 days in Jasper. I love it. You can go hiking, biking, whitewater rafting. Lake Malign, we do a Jasper highlights tour. And Lake Malign is absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. If any golfers are out there, the number 1 golf course in all of Canada is at the Jasper Park Lodge. And I checked into it for club rentals, 18 holes. It was 150 Canadian, which is 100 US. So I didn't think that was bad at all. So keep that in mind. No matter whether you end your journey on Rocky Mountaineer in Jasper or Banff or Lake Louise, you're going to want to do the Columbia ice fields. Truly amazing. It's halfway in between, so you can do it from no matter where. You take a motor coach out to this ice explorer that you then take down onto this glacier, and you can get out and walk on this glacier. And what I find amazing every time I'm on this glacier, think about this. The glacier, the ice, is as thick as the Eiffel Tower is tall. So that's pretty amazing. That's some pretty darn thick ice that you're walking on. Banff, lots to do in Banff. So we'll include tours of like Yoho National Park. It's going to include Emerald Lake, the Hoodoos. My favorite thing to do in Banff personally is the gondola. Now, Jasper has a gondola too, but insider tip, I like the Banff gondola better. I don't know why, I just do. It's 10 to 12 minutes up maybe. And the thing I like about it is you don't just get up and snap a picture and turn around and come back. There's like boardwalks, and you can walk quite a distance and get the Canadian Rockies from many, many different viewpoints and take lots of pictures. Lake Louise, of course, you know, whether you spend the night in Lake Louise or just go there for the afternoon and have an excursion there and have tea, lots to do. You can hike around the lake. You can't hike all the way around, but you can hike about halfway around, which is about a mile and a quarter to the halfway point. If you're a little more energetic, about a mile walk up the mountain is this tea house. It's spectacular, and you're going to get amazing views. Very historical tea house. So you could have, lunch at Lake Louise, just a appetizer and a cocktail or tea or whatever. And Calgary. Calgary actually surprised me as a town. It's a big foodie town, to be honest with you. But of course, what they're really famous for is their Stampede. For 2 weeks every July, the town pretty much shuts down, and it's one big festival. So again, lots to do in Calgary. You can do that Lookout Tower, the home of the '88 Olympics. There's an Olympic Park there. Actually, Calgary's vying for another Olympics coming up. I forget which one, but they're vying for it. So things to do in the Calgary area before you fly home. We like to say that you can have it all, and the reason we do that is because you can combine Rocky Mountaineer with a lot of different things, and I'm going to turn it over to the other Dawn and let her talk about that.
Thanks, Dawn. So Dawn kind of gave you all of the details that Rocky Mountaineer offers, the train journeys, the classes of service, and what to do in each town. So now what I'm going to talk about is some of the pre-packaged trips that we have with Vacations by Rail. And in addition to the few that we're going to talk about today, we do have plenty of others that you can do as well. There really is something for everyone with Rocky Mountaineer. So this is one of our new escorted programs. It begins in Seattle. So you'll start in Seattle and then journey on the Victoria Clipper up to Victoria for just a day trip there, visit the world famous Butchart Gardens. And then you'll travel by ferry as well over to Vancouver, where you'll spend 2 nights. You'll have some sightseeing in Vancouver, and then the next day you'll board the Rocky Mountaineer, and that we're doing that central journey up to Jasper. So you'll travel 1 full day on the Rocky Mountaineer to Kamloops, spend the night there, and then travel up to Jasper, where you'll have 2 nights. And we do visit Malign Lake. We have a great sightseeing tour there. And then we journey down through the Columbia Icefield, go out on the Athabasca Glacier to Banff, where we spend 2 nights. So this is a fully escorted program that we do for 8 nights, 9 days. So you are traveling with a tour manager throughout the entire journey. It's a group that you'll be with the entire time. So this is a little bit more of an escorted program where, everything is really taken care of from the time that you arrive in Seattle until your departure in Calgary. And we have 2 departures for this year for 2019, July 2nd and September 28th. They are selling out really quickly. So if this is something that you're thinking about doing, give us a call. We'll get you some details on that, but we will be continuing this program as well in the future. So just a few quick photos. You can see the train there in the upper left-hand corner. And the lower left-hand corner is the beautiful Butchart Gardens. See Seattle and Vancouver. And then is that Malign Lake, or is that Lake Louise or Jasper there? I think it might be Malign Lake in the bottom right corner. Malign Lake, yeah. So some highlights of the things that you'll see on this particular journey. Another one that we have, the Canadian Rockies featuring Banff and Lake Louise. This is probably our most popular independent journey that we do. It's 7 days, 6 nights. Again, beginning in Vancouver, you'll have 2 nights. So some really great time to explore there. You can certainly add on a trip over to Vancouver Island to visit Victoria if you so choose. And then you'll do that journey through Kamloops, instead going to Lake Louise instead of up to Jasper this time. You'll spend a night in Lake Louise before journeying down south into Banff, where you'll have 2 nights. We do include sightseeing here. You'll have a Vancouver trolley tour, including admission to their lookout tower. And then there's touring of Banff National Park, including the Sulphur Mountain Gondola that Dawn mentioned. We have departures throughout most of the year, essentially just about all the time that Rocky travels, April through October. And every single one of these departures, you'll be able to do sightseeing and spend time on the train. So you get a really full season. Late April, you might still see snow in the Rockies. You'll have the warmer summer months, and then you can have some beautiful fall time too if you're going later into September or October. And then just a few more pictures here. You get the beautiful train journey in your on the upper left-hand corner. Really, really great views throughout the Rockies, just absolutely stunning. And then we're talking about another circle journey today too. Dawn had mentioned the Golden Circle via Whistler, and this is another program that we offer. That's 8 nights, 9 days, beginning in Vancouver, and then it does come all the way around and end in Vancouver as well, so round trip. You'll have 4 days on board the train, so 2 on the way up to Jasper, spend a night in Jasper, Lake Louise, and then 2 nights in Banff. Again, we do include the Columbia ice fields with the ride on the Ice Explorer and the Glacier Skywalk. You'll have a scenic sightseeing tour that takes you from Lake Louise to Banff on this journey. So it's about a half-day sightseeing tour going all throughout Yoho National Park, again, visiting the spiral tunnels and Emerald Lake. And then you have the touring in Banff as well before journeying back on the Rocky Mountaineer through Kamloops and into Vancouver. And we offer this journey May through October every year. And then you'll see the Silverleaf service in the center picture there, and some more great pictures of the train and off the train, and the beautiful Canadian scenery at the Rockies. And we're going to go back to Dawn with Rocky Mountaineer to talk about some of the combination land and sea journeys that are offered as well.
Great, thank you. So yes, you can do this by land and sea. 40% of our travelers do this in conjunction with an Alaska cruise. You know, I think especially from the Midwest and the East Coast, it's a ways over there, so I think people want to do it all and do it the right way. It's actually, if you think about it, a perfect marriage. So Vacations by Rail can help you book that. You know, you can do the cruise either before or after onboard Rocky, before or after you do Rocky Mountaineer. One thing I want to mention is the Sonora Resort. This is to die for. It truly is. It's off the Discovery Islands, which is about a 40-minute flight from Vancouver. So you have to get there. You can only get there by helicopter or seaplane. And we had our sales meeting there 2 years ago. I can tell you it truly is one of the best destinations that I have been to, one of the calmest, most serene destinations. It's an all-inclusive vacation. It's an all-inclusive resort, I should say. But you can do additional add-ons. I did the Zodiac tour, which is a tour on the lake. You can do grizzly bear watching, which people saw. I think it was like 8 to 10 grizzly bears. Our colleagues saw it. It was amazing. I tried my hand at fly fishing. I know, Dawn's laughing because if you knew me, it was bad. It was not pretty. Nobody wanted to stand around me, but it was fun. It was fun. So you can do that. So keep that in mind as well as an add-on either before or after your journey. Truly, all the rooms look like this. And like I said, just really the most serene place I've ever been to. Okay, people ask me this question. This is the question I get asked all the time. When to travel? When's the best time to travel? Well, Rocky Mountaineer runs mid-April to mid-October. So guess what? That's when's the best time to travel is. But I'll give you the pluses and minuses. And Dawn alluded to some of this. Spring, you're going to see snow-capped mountains. You're also going to see a ton of wildlife. Why? Because Rocky Mountaineer shares the lines with the freight trains. Freight trains are carrying feed flying off the freight trains. The animals are coming out of hibernation. In fact, Dawn just told me today that there is a freight train that a bag of feed like blew open and exploded. There was tons of wildlife down by the train tracks. If there's a downside, Lake Louise will most likely be frozen over until June 1st. It starts thawing mid-May. It's starting to thaw right now, actually, which is a bit early for it. But keep that in mind if that's important. It's actually really pretty to see.
We saw it last year together, and it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
We were able to walk out on the lake.
Yes,
that was fun. That was fun. Yeah. Summer. We all know the pluses and minuses of summer travel, right? Everything's in full bloom, impeccable weather. Going to be a little more crowded. You're probably not going to see as much wildlife. You still will see some, don't get me wrong. But they don't like to see us as much as we like to see them. So autumn. Autumn's a great time to travel, probably one of my new favorite times. So keep this in mind for, autumn of this year, because in Vancouver, you're going to see vibrant colors. When you're in the Rockies themselves, you're going to have the evergreens that contrast with the aspen trees that turn that gorgeous golden color. And again, more wildlife as well. The same reason they're looking for food to stuff themselves to go up into hibernation. And, we run along the Thompson Rivers and the Fraser Rivers, and the salmon run happens in mid-September along those rivers as well. So that's very cool. Oh, fun facts. I did some fun facts.
Oh, yay.
Did you know Canada's on sale? The whole country's on sale, Dawn.
It's the favorite thing about it.
It really is. So 32% off. No, you cannot take 32% off the price unless Vacations by Rail is doing some big promotion. But no, seriously, when you're in Vancouver shopping, ladies, use this. It's 32% off. That I'm going to be there next week, and that's what I'm thinking in my mind when I hit the shop. Time zones. Vancouver and Kamloops are going to be they're Pacific time, so depending on where we're at. And then Jasper, Banff, Lake Louise is Mountain time. This one's pretty basic, right? Anytime you're going to the mountains, you want to wear layers and comfortable shoes. This one's really important. Your bags are not on board the train with you. This is how it works. You leave your bag in Vancouver, and you leave it right in your hotel room. We're going to pick it up. You're going to enjoy your day on the train. We're going to hand you your keys as you pull into, say Kamloops. And you're going to literally walk 2 steps off the train, 3 steps onto the motor coach. We're going to take you to your hotel. You are already checked in. No waiting in line to check in. No waiting 20 minutes for the bellhop to bring your bag, because your bag is going to be in your room waiting for you. That's really nice, isn't it?
It's so convenient. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Don't forget your batteries and chargers. No converters are necessary, because that way the day pack on board, by the way, that's going to be for cameras, binoculars, meds, anything you need. But no electrical converters necessary, same as the U.S. Contact your local phone company and credit card company, by the way. I don't know your phone plan, and as far as your credit card company, you don't want to be making a purchase, say, in Chicago on a Sunday and on a Monday in Vancouver, because you might not make any more purchases, and there goes that 32% discount I told you about. If you're a U.S. citizen, passports are required to enter Canada, and they must be valid for 6 months from date of entry. Not our rules, it's the government rules. If you keep your passport in a safety deposit box, please get it out before, and you're leaving on a Sunday, please get it out before Sunday, because you won't be going. We all have passport stories. We travel all the time. I have a short one, I'll tell you. A year and a half ago, I'm heading to headquarters to Vancouver for mandatory meetings, and it's kind of important I'm there, right? I'm on my way to the airport to O'Hare, and my friend who's taking me is frankly driving me insane, asking me, do you have your phone? Do you have your passport? Like 6 times. I was so annoyed. I became a little bit of a smart aleck, and I pulled out my phone. And I said, here's my phone. I pull out my passport. I said, here it is. I open it up, and I wanted to say, look, it's even valid. I had grabbed my daughter's passport. They do not accept your daughter's passport. Let me tell you that. So this happens to the best of us. Long story short, because people always want to know the end. My son, who was 17 at the time and never home, thank God, was home, and made it to O'Hare with 15 minutes to spare with my passport. He was my favorite child for a while. So please, it happens to the best of us. Please check your passports. Finally, trip insurance. Trip insurance. Vacations by Rail will check trip insurance for you. I highly recommend you take it. This is too big of an investment, you guys, to not take it out. So please, it is very important to take out trip insurance. Okay, Lynn, we're back to you.
All right, wonderful. So let me get our next polling question ready, and it is, what is most important to you in selecting your next vacation? So please pick the most important out of this list. All right, we're going to keep this open for just a couple more seconds. It looks like almost everyone has voted. All right, and so here we go. It looks like comprehensive sightseeing and activities is definitely number one, but it's really close for the others. So that's great. Wonderful. It looks like you can get all those things with Rocky Mountaineer.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, we certainly do package all of our vacations with comprehensive sightseeing. Like we mentioned before, if you're starting in Vancouver or even ending in Vancouver, any of our Rocky Mountaineer journeys will touch Vancouver, so you can certainly spend the day going over to Victoria, visiting the Bouchard Gardens, the Butterfly Gardens, downtown Victoria there. And then those key sightseeing things in the Rockies, the Athabasca Glacier, the Columbia Ice Fields, really big one. The Banff Gondola, touring that area, and Yoho National Park, I would say, are probably some of the most popular things. And then Jasper National Park, just all of it kind of in general, is really big, wonderful. We offer all sorts of different sightseeing excursions that you can do. We have a motorcycle tour that you can take in Jasper if you're adventurous. Yeah, really, really cool. There's hiking tours, there's canoeing. So if you're adventurous, we have something to suit your needs. And if you want to do more leisurely things as well, you can do that. A lot of the wildlife tours are smaller vehicles, 10, 15, 20 people. You're touring from the comfort and safety of the vehicle, going into those national parks on the search for wildlife. Really, really beautiful scenery, all kinds of things to do. Very exciting. So whatever suits your fancy in British Columbia and in Alberta with the Rockies and Rocky Mountaineer, we can find this sightseeing that matches the destination and the journey that you're looking for. We're going to talk just a little bit about some current promotions that we have for your upcoming Rocky Mountaineer journey to get you folks traveling and on the road. And Dawn, if you want to talk about the free hotel night. Yeah.
So right now until June 28th, please don't wait until June 28th to try to book this because as Dawn, as you can attest to, Rocky Mountaineer books up quickly. Yeah, really does. Remember, we only have that mid-April to mid-October window to get the traveling in. So between now and then, though, if you book with Rocky Mountaineer, subject to availability, you can have a free hotel night in either Seattle, Vancouver, or Calgary. So this is a great way to extend that. Remember that that extra night in Vancouver I told you have to do. You can use it towards that.
Absolutely, yeah. And we even talked about we would have liked to spend more time in Calgary when we were there last year.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before that.
We both felt we didn't have enough time in Calgary. I'd love to get out and explore that town. So wherever you're beginning or ending your journey, spend a little more time and get to know those cities. We are also offering a 5% discount on select Canada Rail vacations through the end of this month. Book by April 30th and mention our promo code CAN19. That can really, save you a really good amount. And all of our discounts are combinable with the AARP discount if you folks are members. So keep those in mind as well. And then you can order any of our catalogs. Our winter spring catalog just came out. We have some really great Rocky Mountaineer journeys in there. And then our 2019 summer catalog is available as well. And then, Lynn, I think we'd like to open up for some questions at this time if we've got questions.
We do have questions. So talking about brochures, one of the questions is, when will the 2020 catalog be available?
Well, we're working on it right now, you and I. And so we do expect that to be available a little bit later this summer, probably about July or August. I would say probably hitting your mailbox closer to August. But Lynn and I are working on it for you.
Perfect. And then, Donna, earlier you mentioned the AARP savings, but can you go over, it says, the question is, does Vacations by Rail accept AARP membership? So obviously we do have savings for AARP members. Can you go over that one more time?
Absolutely. We offer a 5% discount on all of our tours for AARP members. Just give us a call, and your rail specialist will most likely ask if you're an AARP member. But we just require your membership number and the expiration date, and then we'll be able to apply that discount to any of our tours. And it is combinable with most of our other offers. Exclusions do apply.
Perfect. Here is one for Don Rogan. Can I take a train from New York Penn Station to where I have to catch the Rocky Mountaineer?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do a cross-country journey. It would be a couple different trains, but you would take a train from New York Penn Station into Chicago, change trains in Chicago, and then continue west to Seattle, where you could either board the Rocky Mountaineer to do one of the coastal passage routes, or you can take the Amtrak Cascades from Seattle up to Vancouver, spend as much time as you want in Vancouver, and then continue on your Rocky Mountaineer journey. So yeah, and then if you do a circle journey, you can certainly, if you're a person that wants to avoid air travel, you can do the whole thing by rail. We can make it happen.
Perfect. Now we have some for Don Elmendorf. How many people can fit on the outdoor viewing platform?
Oh, very good question. Well, I should also mention that on the Gold Leaf, which is the only one to do an outdoor viewing platform, we can hold about 64 people. The outdoor viewing platform itself, I would say probably holds about 20 if you all stood side by side. But let me tell you, very few times there are that many people out there. In fact, I've never seen it. The most I've ever been out there with is probably about 5. People kind of come and go. There's many times I'm out there on my own, which I love that part about it. So it's fairly, it's a good size. It fits plenty of people. And then also I should mention on our Silverleaf rail cars, where there is no outdoor viewing platform, they hold about 58 people.
Okay, great. Dawn, you had mentioned that Gold Leaf is bi-level. So the question is, if I have challenges with stairs, how do I climb to the upstairs seating? Is there seating available downstairs?
Great question. Seating is not available downstairs except for in the dining area. However, there's a lift. So if you have problems navigating stairs, that's not a problem. You would need to use the lift to go up and down. Just know that you'll need to use it to go to the meals and to whenever you need to use the washroom. Those are all on the main level. But all the seating is upstairs. You can certainly take the lift down to the main level.
Okay, thanks.
And it's big enough to hold a scooter or a wheelchair or something like that.
Oh, great. Are beverages included with meals in both Gold Leaf and Silver Leaf class?
Absolutely. So no matter whether you're in Gold or Silver, all your, like I said, meals, snacks, and both alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages are included when you're on board Rocky. So on board Rocky, truly an all-inclusive luxury experience.
Wonderful. And what do I do with my luggage when I'm on the train?
So we will handle your luggage for you. So not to worry. You're going to just leave your luggage in Vancouver, and we're going to truck it ahead to your next destination. You're not going to have to worry about that. All your porterage on that is taken care of. Your luggage will actually be in your room waiting for you at your next destination. When you get off the train, you'll be already checked in. We'll hand you your key, and you just head to your hotel. We'll take you there. Your luggage will be in your room waiting for you.
That's great. And those are all the questions we have.
Wonderful. Easy. Great. Well, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just going to do a couple things going over how to get in contact with Vacations by Rail so that you can book one of these wonderful Rocky Mountaineer journeys.
Please do use your Vacations by Rail specialists. They're amazing, you guys. I've worked with them for such a long time, and they really are true professionals.
Thanks, Dawn. We appreciate that. So you can reach us by phone at 877-929-7245. We're available online at www.vacationsbyrail.com. That will give you all of the vacation packages that we offer, not just in Canada and the Canadian Rockies with Rocky Mountaineer, but all throughout the world. And an insider tip on this, when you give us a call, you'll speak with a rail specialist by phone, and then that person will be your dedicated Vacations by Rail contact throughout the entire booking process. They'll be able to answer any questions that you have from the time that you first call in until you return for your journey. Obviously, anyone here on our staff is available to assist you in any way, but you will have a dedicated rail specialist that you can take some time getting to know, and they can get to know you and to really help you make this the journey of your dreams and to accomplish everything that you want for your vacation goals. So again, by phone, 877-929-7245 or online at www.vacationsbyrail.com. And you can also contact us via either of those means to get one of those catalogs as well.
My favorite picture. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you so much, Lynn. And if you have any questions, again, you know how to get a hold of us, phone, website, or email at info@vacationsbyrail.com.
Thank you.